Now, mixed reactions are greeting Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio's first 100 days in office. While supporters of the government say that the President Bio has performed remarkably well amidst tough economic challenges, opposition supporters say that the government has done very little to turn the economy around and promote political stability and cohesion.
Exactement, Jerry. Le président fait face à un bilan.
We have to recognize that the Sierra Leonean president faces immense challenges, especially in economic terms. During the presidential campaign, Julius Maada Bio made many promises, in particular to tackle the corruption that undermines his country. And 100 days later, there were some important changes in this area.
And that is one of the issues that we will be discussing with us. Our correspondent is our Sierra Leonean correspondent, Eric Kawa. Eric, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jerry.
Yes, Eric.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yeah. Eric, first off, what assessment has been made generally of the first 100 days of President Maada Bio's presidency?
Well, many say it's good to assess a government in its first 100 days, but some say it's too early for assessment. However, President Bio's government have been described with a mix of both positive and negative strides. Among those include, of course, education, which is one of his key priorities. His government promised free primary and secondary school education and provision of loan scheme to students in tertiary institutions. There's also been an abolition of the Senior Secondary School 4 or SSS4, which required pupils to take the West African Senior School Certificate exam, which is the WASC, in 13th grade. They can now take the exams at the 12th grade. And further, in his education policy, there will also be certain provisions for teachers. And early release this week also eliminated the fees for university application forms. However, people question the effectiveness and implementation of the free education policy. Other developments also include the introduction of the national cleaning exercise scheduled for the first Saturday of each month, and order also by the public sector workers and government ministers to report at 8:30 a.m. for work, and organizing conferences, workshops, and meetings at government conference halls. The latter, however, was not adhered to, and a review is needed in that line because it was to cut down on spendings. On the other hand, the economy is not stable. And of course, the cost of living has been so high as we see increasing goods and services on daily basis. And so many people complain of sharp rise in commodity prices, including the price for the staple food, rice, as the foreign currency exchange rate continues to rise. Though the Ministry of Trade and Industry and other line ministries have promised to work on that, but Sierra Leoneans are very much concerned and want the government to do more in that aspect. President Bio promised national cohesion during his campaigns, but more needs to be done in that, as many Sierra Leoneans are still divided along political and ethnical lines. And so due to that, we find out that there are often disagreements between members of the two main political parties, that is the SLPP and the All People's Congress Party, the opposition.
Eric, that was quite a lot. I mean, some of the things you've rolled out, and but we will also imagine, of course, that that Sierra Leoneans want the rising commodity prices to be addressed and other economic challenges. Eric, let me bring you to one of the challenges that President Bio promised to address. That is corruption. After 100 days of governance, what can we say about that?
Okay, yes. During his inaugural speech, President Bio pledged to wage war on corruption, indiscipline, and poverty. But these fights have been challenging, and the fight to corruption is, however, to be determined by the masses as the government just stepped in. But upon assumption of office, 3 months later, President Bio declared his assets do not meet public, but according to him, there are provisions in the Anti-Corruption Act for public officials to declare their assets in confidentiality. And the Vice President also did similar declarations, but also in confidentiality. So the transition government report also on the activities of past government has also named certain individuals who were accused of involving in corrupt practices, but a commission of inquiry has been set to investigate the findings from the report. However, the appointment as well of the Anti-Corruption Commission was met with disagreement by opposition members after what they described as undue following of the process of law in his approval by Parliament. So it has been challenging, but we're hoping to see more to be done in that line of corruption.
Okay, Eric. Now, under the previous administration, Sierra Leone was singled out for problems of non-respect of human rights. What about that under Mahathir Bio's era?
Yes, that is also a very huge concern for many Sierra Leoneans there, and the human rights issues are very much important. But a recent report from Amnesty International also named the Sierra Leone police as one of the institutions that abuses and violates the rights of people. But the police force refuted those allegations, stating that the police now couldn't be compared to the last one. Also, we see one other major problem is members of the media have also called on the new government to repeal Part 5 of the 1965 Public Order Act, an act used by politicians to mostly muzzle press freedom and free speech. So politicians have over the years used this act to hunt down journalists they see as a threat. The Sierra Leone Association of Journalists, the body for journalists, have however been engaging past government on repealing that section of the Public Order Act or to review it, but actions are yet to be taken and journalists still remain hopeful of a repeal.
Well, this is how much we can take, Eric. I'd like to thank